2000. A milestone moment for a Pittsburgh icon.
Malkin dusts it off. Right in front. Another chance. Backhand score. 1,200 points for Evgeny Malkin.
2nd and 9. Pickett lines up a deep ball. Separation. Touchdown. George Pickens.
All right. Welcome to another live edition of Pittsburgh Sportsline in the BPTV studio in the Municipal Building in downtown Bethel Park. We appreciate you. Sorry for some technological difficulties. I had a special edition pre-show on Pittsburgh Sportsline Facebook and Pittsburgh Sportsline channel on YouTube. So thanks to anybody that might have saw it. I had a legendary young man called DiMaggio Linero with his great dad, Billy Linero, and that show was already up, and we got a little delayed with that, with the changeover. So that's why we're a little late. I want to first shout out to Brandy and Michael Mariano. He's in the hospital. That's Michael's grandfather and his mother. They're at the hospital, and it's Johnny's dad. Prayers to all of you and your family, and we wish you well, and we hope you're coming home very soon. So thanks for tuning in to Pittsburgh Sportsline. We got to thank all of you for watching us on Comcast 21, only in Bethel Park. Thanks for watching us on Verizon 32, all the way from Nemacolin, Cranberry, Wexford, and all the points in between in greater Pittsburgh area. And on Facebook, we're still holding that 7K, so we appreciate you. If you're not on Pittsburgh Sportsline Facebook, get there fast because we like interacting with you. And if you're not on Pittsburgh Sportsline channel subscribing, at least go there and put a subscribe in. I'm begging for some subscribers to get us past. I think we're at 153. I'm not sure though. We'll have to check that.
160.
We went up to 160. Congrats. Thank you. Me asking got you there. And we're going to... All right, I'm Al Levine, the Talking Machine, Smoking Jim Frazier, Nick VIP Callis. Chip gave me a little update yesterday, said his surgery went so well, better than the last two. He has more flexibility where they replaced his knee for the second time there, or actually third time. He's doing better, but he has a little seepage from the surgery, so they have to correct that bleeding there. But other than that, he's doing well. And he's been doing PT and walking around, and he's doing so much better than last year. So keep him in your prayers. Chip Hayner, we're praying for you to come back soon. All right, we got our
Be careful with all that rain. I don't want his knee to rust out.
No, he's inside.
Inside. Okay.
He's not like you where it didn't rain in Monroeville today or snow. So we're going to go to our great promos right now. Pittsburgh Sportsline supports the Pittsburgh Post-Gazette Strikers. I worked there for 36 years. My former union, CWA PPMWS 14842, Pittsburgh Local Mailers Union number 22, is on strike. Even though health care benefits were secured for workers by the union, Post-Gazette management cut them out without the union's approval and still expected workers to show up without any coverage. Please cancel your Post-Gazette subscriptions online or in print. Pittsburgh Sportsline supports the Pittsburgh Post-Gazette Union Strikers. Frank Fanera, owner of Olive Oil's Pizzeria in the Hillcrest Shopping Center on Route 88. Call them at 412-831-1900. Every Tuesday night, Olive Oil's Pizzeria provides the host and the amazing volunteer crew with an XL pepperoni pizza and a full steak hoagie. They are delicious. Olive Oils is proud to support Pittsburgh Sportsline and the volunteers at BPTV. Stay Joey strong. Joey Fabus died at 8 years old of brain cancer known as DIPG. Since then, the family has come together with community members to create the Joey Fabus Childhood Cancer Foundation, a 501c3 nonprofit. Since being founded, they've raised over $100,000. Go to jfccf.org to learn more about DIPG, to help spread awareness, and to see how else you can support and donate towards the fight against this dreaded brain cancer. Always Be Smiling, a 501c3 designed to help children and families in need of kidney transplants. The B stands for Bennett, whose memory is embedded in this organization by his parents, Kristen and Dean. Despite the challenges he faced in his 16 and a half years of life, Bennett always had a smile on his face and spread kindness to everyone he could. Now, Always Be Smiling wants to pass on that kindness. Go to alwaysbesmiling.org to learn more and see how you can support or donate to this organization. The Bethel Park Community Foundation has money for you. I'm Al Levine, trustee on the board of this great organization. The BPCF focuses on raising money to provide scholarships, grants, endowments, and more. Grant requests are available online from $100 to $5,000. You can also attend fundraisers or donate. Go to bpcf.org to get more information and to stay up to date on upcoming events. The Bethel Park Community Foundation, focusing community resources, building for the future. The Bethel Park Historical Society is a 501c3 that serves Bethel Park. The Historical Society operates out of the Schoolhouse Arts and History Center, located at 2600 South Park Road. Look for the red and white trolley right out front. Reginald's Coffee is inside, and I've heard it's the best coffee around. To visit this great historical venue, email historicalsocietybp@gmail.com. The Hillcrest Christian Academy yearbook team is looking to fundraise through advertising. They want to give students the ability to have full-color pages with everything they need to remember this chapter of their lives. If you're interested in supporting Hillcrest Christian Academy and capturing priceless moments and highlighting student achievement, please advertise with the yearbook team. Pricing is listed right here. Payments can be made directly to the Hillcrest Christian Academy School. For more information, send a message to their email. Alex Reed is in need of a kidney. 2 weeks after college graduation, Alex's kidneys failed. A gracious donor gave Alex 7 years of life, but now he needs another kidney. To learn more about becoming a donor for Alex, call 830-285-2140 or go to kidneysolutions.org. Zhang Taekwondo just opened a new location in the South Hills, along with its location in Wexford and its inclusion in the curriculum of Provident Charter School in Troy Hill. Zhang uses Taekwondo to teach its students confidence and self-discipline through physical fitness. Zhang is offering a 4-week special. You get a uniform and lessons for $30. If you mention the Talking Machine, Smokin' Jim, or VIP Nick, they'll give you a further discount. For more information, go to zhangtkd.com or call 724-934-9264. We're back. All right, we got people here with a backlog since we were a little late. We had technological difficulties again. For all of you who wonder what goes on, something happened at the studio last week when they did something at the police department with the internet.
Not quite.
Okay, well,
We
then
don't
you
know
tell
if it
them.
was a part of the police department. Our thing that makes the internet happen got frayed and got broken. So we ordered a new part, but the part hasn't come in yet. And then I tried to use a wireless signal instead of a wire, and that wireless signal is failing us. So I couldn't get the graphics up, and that's why they were a little hesitant. So I'm sure I'll post a new copy of this for broadcast, but that's what happened.
Well, I needed him to talk technologically about it, so he covered it very well, because when your stuff don't work, that's why we weren't on.
Dave Cable, though, will love hearing this. I have to admit, wireless is not good. Wired is always the way to go.
Hardwire.
Hardwires, that's right.
All right. Well, Paul Haley had said, can see and hear you guys. You got the explanation. Chip Hayner's watching. Shout out and prayers to Chip. Peggy, Rhodey, and Nick are watching from Rochester. Thank you, our big fans in Rochester. Ralph Williams is watching. Hello,
That's
guys.
my man.
Hello. Ralph. I have to let my co-host, who got stolen by Ralph, give a shout out to his man while he does a show before we went. So I messed him up because I was doing a pre-show with a great baseball player.
Is my microphone working?
No.
Oh, I was making sure.
We
You
okay?
can hear me? We're all good?
We can't hear you. we don't hear anything. Oh, sorry, guys. We got to go to what? You know what? We've had so many technological. I found it. I can go. Smoking Jim Frazier, what's on your mind?
Thanks, Al Levine, the Tiger Machine. And if you want the green,
here you go.
You got to see Levine. Got it, man. I tell you.
I did good.
Oh, that was good one, Nick. Hey,
excellent.
You deserve credit. You deserve credit. Sidney Crosby with the goal last night. He moved to 24th place all time. Only 22 places behind Ovechkin, but that's okay, Al Levine, the Tiger Machine. He's moving up. He like the Jeffersons. He's moving on up.
Disclaimer, Mr.
You
Negative.
know how much I like Ovechkin.
Disclaimer
And
here,
Cindy.
he likes Yager and Ovechkin. Yager's still playing, should be in the Hall of Fame. They won't make an exception for Yager. Other people have, been put in after a year or two or something else. Yager's 50 years old. They won't put him in because the excuse is he's still playing.
Well, this country don't like the
Ovechkin, we don't
Russians.
know what happened to him this year. He's not doing as well as he used to. Mr. Negative here has to come about anything in Pittsburgh sports with an icon. Sidney Crosby plays a 200-foot game. You don't love him. You don't even love yourself. So how are you going to love Crosby?
Wow.
All right, carry on with that.
Hey, listen, this is week 14 in the National Football League.
Yeah.
And Lamar Jackson's still healthy. He's the only healthy starting quarterback in the division. How is that, Al Levine, the Tiger Machine? What a shocker. But what I got on my mind, Al Levine, the Tiger Machine, Kenny Pickett is the worst quarterback in NFL history for 500 passes. He got the lowest touchdown percentage, Al Levine, the Tiger Machine, and he'll start to be mentioned with the likes of Ryan Leaf, Jamarcus Russell, Achilles Smith, Heath Schuler, Matt Leinart, David Klinger, and his buddy, Nathan Peterman. Hey, listen, Al Levine, the Tiger Machine, maybe, Nick, it's time for us to go after Kirk Cousins. Or, Mikey, maybe we should go after a quarterback that I like that we should draft from LSU. Jayden Daniels, he's 6'4". This year alone, he passed for 4,000 yards, 40 touchdowns, only 4 interceptions. He's rushed for 1,100 yards and 10 more touchdowns. Hey, Al Levine, the Tiger Machine, we passed on Marino. Maybe we should have passed on Kenny Pickett. And that's what's on my mind.
Smoking Jim, did you listen when we first drafted Pickett, what I was saying about him?
Yes, and you were right.
Okay.
100%. You nailed it.
All right. It's tough being right here on Pittsburgh Sportsline. All right, let's see if we can hear Nick VIP Callis. What's on your mind, Nick Callis?
So,
I can hear you.
thank you. Yeah, a lot on my mind, a lot of crazy stuff going on. It was nice to see a young baseball guy doing well. And
DiMaggio's a
love
great
that
guy.
Name.
Yeah.
Love that name. Yeah, no, so that was good. That was good to work and hear their stories. The Steelers are terrible. but they're terrible in a way where they're good, and none of it makes sense. I mean, I've been saying this for weeks now and months. They make you feel some kind of way. Now, this isn't a surprise in recent years for Mike Tomlin because the Steelers have indeed played down to competition. That I don't want to say that was the worst loss of Tomlin's career because I feel like we say that every time they lose a game like that. But understanding the circumstances may have been. I'm also losing it on the defense a little bit. It seems like the defense plays very well and keeps the Steelers in the games for the most part. But they give up one or two really big drives in games. And then we remember that because it was crucial. Anybody remember what it was from this week?
No, I
Joey
forgot.
Porter wrestling the guy down in the end zone and lose the game for us. You mean that one?
No, not that one.
Okay.
No, it's not prejudice against JPJ. It's the fact that the Cardinals, no problem with the Steelers going for it on 4th and 1 on the goal line, but the defense needs to be scrutinized.
Excuse me, I threw up my pizza.
Whoops.
Okay.
The defense needs to be scrutinized for giving up 99 yards.
Good point.
A touchdown on a 99-yard drive. Even a field goal may have changed the trajectory of that game, but they scored a touchdown and had a possession and were able to successfully score a touchdown with 99 yards of the field to go. That can't happen. And that's just one of those things where, I mean, the offense is really bad, and that's fine. Not really fine, but you know what I mean. Like, we know that, and the defense just can't let a play like that happen. That's really frustrating. And I'm starting to lose it a little bit on their side. I mean, they're keeping the Steelers in the game, like I said, and that's fine for the most part. They're doing good, but like there are just those silly things that happen, like those kind of drives where they don't make a stop. Like, yes, they can make a stop in the middle of the game. Like that was still, I think it was the second quarter that happened.
Yeah.
Because it was still early in the game. There's no fatigue. There's no the offense. The offense was still like moving the ball a little bit before Pickett got hurt. So like, you know, that was the drive after Pickett got hurt. So there's no excuses for them to let up that many yards. They've got to come up with some plan where they at least let up a field goal, and that's even a stretch because it's a 99-yard drive. So that's frustrating. It's all very frustrating, and yet they're still 7-5. I mean, the Chiefs lost 2 on Sunday.
Yes.
And now the Dolphins, I think, have the number 1 seed in the AFC, which who saw that coming? I mean, we knew they might be good, but, like, they're the leaders right now. Like, the Chiefs are not even
They
that
got
good.
the MVP, Tua,
If the NFL
or Tyreek.
if the NFL had the standard as the standard rule, then the standard isn't very high. They're just-
Mediocrity.
This conference was supposed to be more competitive, and it kind of is competitive, but not in a way that excites you, in a way that makes you not really entertained and sad, especially if you're a fan of the Steelers, because they're bad. They are bad. I'll admit that now. They're bad. They're pretty bad. But they have 7 wins, and they're like, the 5th or 6th seed right now, because the Browns can't get out of their own way either. So I don't know how to feel. I'll talk more about the Steelers in the VIP segment, but that's what's on my mind. Hi there.
Have you or El Levine, the talking machine, or Marco ever heard of somebody getting an operation on a high ankle sprain?
Yeah.
That's first. I've never heard of that.
It just came out.
And they're coming back in a few weeks.
It's a tightrope operation.
Yeah, they add these. They add some pressure or leverage in the ankle, kind of pad it up with some sort of synthetic artificial something.
That'll help with his happy feet.
No, not really. Thanks, Smoking Jim, for always adding some good points there.
I didn't know.
The poor man's getting surgery, and you're just talking bad. All right. Amy Sliss, hello, guys. Get well, Chip. Brandy in the hospital said, we're watching from the hospital on Facebook.
Oh.
And hello. Hello to you, and hope your father-in-law, Michael, feels better and gets out of the hospital soon. So thanks for tuning in. We appreciate you and salute you. Paul Haley, Steelers just got Trace McSorley from the Ravens, former Penn State quarterback.
Yeah.
Has 2 400-yard games in the NFL, hoping a pathetic season, maybe. Wait and see. Well, that's still up in the air because my theory is a lot of these quarterbacks that are good in college, and being my daughter graduated from Penn State, I appreciate what he did there. A very gutsy quarterback and had some great games.
These are all just very inspiring options, though, aren't they?
Well, no, because I appreciate sarcasm. Yeah. And I appreciate that you graduated in 3 years. Right before your 25th birthday. He threw out some nice sarcasm this evening, so I want to emphasize thank you for that. Ann Harder had said, you're good, Nick, so she could hear you. We appreciate that. What's on my mind? There's a lot on my mind with sports and everything. And the biggest word comes out is mediocrity. And it goes back to Paul Rozelle. Now, it's before you were born, Nick, but I know you know the NFL. He was a commissioner, and he believed in parity. And guess what? We're beyond parity, because I'll test all of you except Smoke and Jim. Tell me the top 10 quarterbacks. They're saying we may only have 10 that are really good quarterbacks, but most of them are hurt. You know there's 32 teams, so we have a problem. All season, not my opinion, but what I actually feel, my feelings with the Steelers all year are it's the worst season I've ever watched as a Steeler fan. And I had said a few years ago when they were 11-0, people were saying it was the worst team. I said enjoy the wins. So I'm going to say it now. Enjoy the wins that we had. Because losing a game to the Cardinals, we always played down to the level. All of us true Steeler fans know that and respect that. And this time, they truly did it, but it was a shock because I was even optimistic that we could hit our average of 16.5 points, even though we didn't meet it last week. I'm still stuck on 16 points as the average. And we played a team that averages, oh man, you know I like stats, 12.3 points per game. They doubled that against the highest paid defense in the NFL, and people wonder what's going on. Well, you had a 99-yard drive for a touchdown. You had, last week we had a touchdown and the coach missed the replay. And we had a 3 feet down, which that's a pass. Then we see numerous plays and non-plays. Well, I learned that you just try to block the guy in front of you, or you try to catch a ball in front of the guy that's a defensive guy. Where did that all go? And you just see the play. And again, Tomlin's a great player's coach, right? Mm-hmm. Every player loves to play for him. They want to be there. Well, what do you call a slow start? That's almost everything you see from Tomlin is a slow start. Mm-hmm. And this was one that, guess what? It got verified by Jaylen Warren. Wouldn't you say he's been a real inspiration this year?
Yes, sir.
He said we weren't prepared for the game, so he threw all the coaches under the bus. Then Deontay, I only care about myself, Johnson, said, yeah, that was right. We weren't ready, but we're over it. How the heck could you be over it when you got to play on Thursday and you didn't know what you were doing on Sunday? I don't want to go into all the details. I bleed black and gold, and I watch every game, well, except for a couple minutes, once or twice. But I watch this game, and I never felt so bad after a game watching it, not because we lost, not because Kenny Pickett got hurt, but just how unprepared we were with all the penalties. And playing sports, the hardest thing to do is line up, according to the Steelers.
After a timeout, too, right?
I didn't even want to bring that up because clock management, we're not known for that with Coach T. There's no clock management or watching replays. But other than that, we're going to be back in 10 seconds with Fiction and Fact from Smokin' Jim's Almanac.
I tell you what, we got the VIP of BPTV, Nick, Harry Callis. But what's on what's fiction and fact from Smoking Jim
I don't know.
Almanac? I want to go back.
What, last year?
All the way back before Nick was born, before Mike was born. 1976, the Steel Curtain.
I was born.
Don't forget, you was born in
Were you
El
born?
Levine, the Talking Machine.
Were you there?
Bradshaw got hurt.
That was the best Steeler team in history.
Best Steeler team in history, best defense in history. Bradshaw got hurt. Steelers were 1-4. They put in a rookie quarterback. They couldn't throw from here to that wall, Mike Kruchik. They went.
I met him.
They went
What a
6-0
nice guy
with
he
him.
was.
That defense was unbelievable. They said, just get us 3 points, you'll win. They recorded 5 shutouts. Went on to a 10-game winning streak. El Levine, the Talking Machine. They had 9 All-Pros on that defense.
I remember.
Mel Blount, Glenn Edwards, Joe Green, Elsie Greenwood, Jack Ham, Jack Lambert, Andy Russell, Mike Wagner, and J.T. Thomas all made All-Pro in 74. Both Franco and Rocky ran for 1,000 yards. The reason I bring this up
No, I have no reason why.
is we could be facing the best defense I've seen since 76 in the New England Patriots. These guys give up they 3 straight games with 10 or less points. El Levine, the Talking Machine, they got the #1 rush defense in all of football. Only gave up 4 touchdowns in the last 4 games. And I tell you what, they have a chance to win this game if the defense do something that they don't do very often, and that's score points.
Well, I got to do a semi-disclaimer. If you don't gamble, don't start. If you do gamble, I got to ask Smoking Jim one question because I always do the
I
opposite.
took a beating in Kansas City
I know that, but
and Jacksonville.
who are you betting with the Steelers?
I don't bet the Steelers. But if I was betting on Thursday,
Yeah.
because it's college basketball, that's where I'm betting now. But if I was betting on Thursday, I would bet that Mason Rudolph comes in. They got to pull the hook. They got to pull the hook, Elevate. I'm doing a prop bet. Woo!
Well,
I support that.
That's why I wanted you to get it out there.
Did they get rid of Canada too soon?
No.
Because, listen, Canada
Oh, they
spent
won?
a whole offseason with Trubisky. He brought Trubisky here. He game planned for Trubisky last year for a number of plays, and now you got 2 guys who really don't know Trubisky very well.
Well,
That doesn't explain why Ben Roethlisberger also did rather poorly until late in games when he was on the team.
it seems to be
He
a
was
pattern.
old, wasn't
And Mitch Trubisky was actually still playing pretty poorly when he was in games.
he? Who?
Trubisky was.
No, Ben and Trubisky never played together.
I understand, but I'm saying Ben played poorly when Matt Canada was here his first year, and then Mitch really wasn't playing that well, throughout his first few games. And then every time he comes in, it seems the Steelers turn the ball over and then give up points. So he could be so bad he's hurting the defense too.
I don't like to pay a guy to sit around at home. I don't know. They fired him, and
You mean that
he
entire
could be helping right now.
$500,000 revenue being
Still-
invested to a guy that has half of a year left on his contract? You know that's silly.
Hey,
Come on now.
they made that back on their beer sales at the last game. You're a little off. I got one question for you since
Yes,
we're on
sir.
this Canada thing. Did it matter that we got rid of Canada and then we lost Pickett, or does it matter more that we lost Pickett now than we have no Canada?
I don't know. Like you said, you're basing it on 16 point. We still ain't hit that magic number yet. 16.5.
So you're a contrarian, I call it. You're not believing
Whatever that means.
Well, it means you believe the opposite of what all the Steeler fans thought if you got rid of Canada, we'd be better and cured. But they forgot about Coach T and they forgot about Pickett. When I told people about the stats last year that they would have not wanted him on the team, he was our savior. Now that he only averages less than half a touchdown a game, how's he still our savior? But that's an argument for another day. Good point. And we'll move forward on this. We got VIP time in 10 seconds.
Everything's terrible. We've been over that. That's a great opinion, but the segment's not over because there's a lot of things to talk about as it relates to the terrible Steelers. And speaking of Mitch Trubisky, I think that you appropriately transitioned into what I'm going to talk about because
And they didn't script this.
nope. Mitch Trubisky is not the guy. The end. Mitch Trubisky is no longer.
All right, let's
the
move
answer.
on to the next segment.
Well, I might explain
Oh,
why.
okay.
And from a Steelers standpoint, that's it. He is not the guy, and it doesn't seem like he's going to succeed with the Steelers. And I'm sad to say that because I think it would have been a really good story for him to not do well with the Bears and then come here and turn it around and really have extracted from him what made him a first-round draft choice. I think number 3 overall.
Number two.
Number 2 overall, so even better. So I think it would have been.
Only for him.
Yeah, I think it would have been a great story, and it makes me sad. And when the Steelers played the Bengals in that first game of the season, like the first half of that game last season was great, and it seemed like they were doing a lot of just crazy things, a lot of things we didn't expect to necessarily see from Trubisky when we had expectations of him, but he did well, and we trusted him, and then he started to play poorly and flat. And then Pickett comes in and plays poorly and flat. And Pickett's still kind of playing poorly and flat until late in games, but now Pickett's hurt. And Trubisky in the game, it's a very bad feeling when a guy comes into a game and you just feel deflated. When Charlie Batch would come into games when I was younger, I felt like, okay, maybe they've got a shot. And then when Bruce Gradkowski was on the team, I remember him as the backup too for some years there in the early 2010s.
Shout out to my Gradkowski friends, and I remember before young Bruce was born.
They grew up in Green Tree too, I believe.
Yes, they did.
Did you ever interact with them a little bit?
I was like best friends. I ate at their house when him and his brother, Bruce and his brother Mark, and their sister Sharon were there. And Bruce and Mark are big guys.
Mm-hmm.
And I was a quiet, shy guy. The mother made sure I had a plate before they started digging in. So I interacted and I worked with Big Bruce my whole career.
They were so nice. At St. Margaret's of Scotland in Green Tree, they did a basketball clinic for all like the youth kids, and I was there, and I'm terrible at basketball. Aside from the point, though, Bruce Gradkowski was a fine backup, I think, when he
wasted their time. Huh?
when he was on the Steelers.
He was
So,
actually a better basketball player for Seton LaSalle as a guard.
I wouldn't know the difference. but-
That's how much I know the family. I
Sure.
went to games and stuff.
Yeah, no, but
So,
aside
just
from the point,
a great family. So your point now with carry on with how you're feeling here.
backups have been good pretty much since I can remember the Steelers, and Ben Roethlisberger was always the head of the ship. So, I don't remember a time personally when the quarterback situation was this bad. And Kenny Pickett, you feel like he can do it, and you feel even if he doesn't look good and the stats don't back it up, like when he's in the game, you just feel like he's going to pull out that wizardry that I've talked about.
Only last quarter, though. Only
right,
last
exactly.
quarter.
But again, a win's a win, and if you can pull it out and rely on your defense mostly, who cares? But now we have to care because Pickett's going to be out for an extended period of time, and that's not good. Just kind of with the opinion of the quarterbacks as well. Is he too injury prone? Perhaps. Was it a dumb play for him to go for the goal line like that? Maybe. Hindsight's still 20/20, and he plays hard and he wanted to get to 7 points. So I don't necessarily fault him for that. I don't fault the Steelers for going for it either. I said that before the play after when it was 4th and 1. But yeah, it's just a really bad quarterback situation. I think it's time to move on from Mitch. I would like to see Mason Rudolph. Mike Tomlin said in a press conference that that's not going to happen because Mason's still redshirted, which is very interesting. So, it's typical.
Well, we have a
third stringer.
JV team now,
Right.
so that's why you'd have a red shirt.
There you go. There you go. I was on it. So,
Sorry, I didn't
No,
mean
that's
to
fine.
interrupt you on that.
but yeah, it's just
I can hear you now, so
Yeah.
I'm good.
This is where we are. We're in a very bad quarterback situation, and I think something's got to change. I think it would be terrible if they drafted another quarterback in a crucial round of the draft because they may very
Number
well
one this year,
they-
number one.
They may very well have botched Pickett, but then again, if you finish in the middle of the pack, what draft choice is going to be worth getting a quarterback at that point? So it's all just
Well, we've had to live with that almost your whole life.
yeah. It's very sad. At least they were winning Super Bowls when I was in my infancy, and now they're not. They're 8-8 or 9-8. Right there you go. That's the standard. So hold on, just one
They're
second.
just not trying to be great.
Yeah, so I I don't know the answer. I don't have the answer necessarily of who's going to be the next guy. I just think Trubisky. I mean, you feel it, I'm sure, out there, and I mean, I know I feel it. Like when he came into the game, I was just like, oh, and you shouldn't feel that way. You shouldn't have to feel that way. Now, do the Steelers have a better quarterback situation than many other teams? It's possible, but it's just like if you could make a change, Trubisky, you gotta move on from him. And this is it's all very sad.
Oh, didn't they sign him to an extension
Did they?
last year?
Well, then maybe they
So they
won't
already
be able to.
They already like him to keep. Here's what I have to interject. I listen to Tomlin, because Coach T's the best, and they talk great about him. The standard is the standard. So how do you keep your mediocre standard of 9-8 if you don't give an extension to a quarterback that is failing, like you're saying?
Yeah, I mean,
that's
that
the
wasn't
logic.
even in my conscience.
No, but that's the logic that I'm thinking with.
Sure. So yeah, it's
Just to interrupt.
No, I mean, the more I talk, the more I get sad. I mean, this is really where I am.
It is
with
sad.
this. Like many of us, man, we shouldn't be that sad when a backup comes into the game like that. You should know what to expect with Trubisky. With that name, it's like you feel like he could do something, but you're also like, he's either going to throw a lot of deep passes and take risks and it's going to do well, or he's essentially going to be the quarterback for both teams because he throws the ball into danger. It's rough. Now, you had a question?
Yeah, I thought you were done before. I'm sorry.
No, go ahead.
But
Give us some of your wisdom.
no, I just want to give a shout out to all the fans who sat there in the bad weather through the 2 delays and the thunder and lightning while I was sitting in Monroeville and it was sunny.
Smoking
I kept
Jim.
looking outside. Did
Smoking
it rain
Jim.
here?
It was sunny in Bethel
Thank
Park.
you. I believe it because I'm like, what's going on?
Drew and I both went outside, and we go where? We saw some dark clouds away from us, but we had sun coming in.
Wow, thank you.
And then there were 2 delays.
yeah, there was 2. I'd never seen that before.
Neither did I.
Wow. And
Pittsburgh weather. You know how people complain about weather here
That's the
every day.
NFL.
That also contributes to why that might have been the worst game we've seen. I mean, when do you get a weather delay in football?
Twice,
Twice.
let alone once.
It just doesn't happen.
Yeah.
Well, here's what I said, and Smoke and Jim can verify. We played football. They never canceled any of our rain games.
No.
I played my junior year. We had a rain game in Bethel Park in this stadium.
Wow.
It was never canceled. We were soaked all the way through.
I understand. I played football too. So we're
Okay,
good.
I forgot about that.
We're all there.
Yeah. So you understand why did they do it? And they say lightning. Well, I guess that's legit, especially twice. And then don't they say lightning can't strike in the same place twice?
Yeah.
I heard that's a myth, though. So maybe they were going by some logic there, Nick.
Oh, it would be very.
Which made it triple trouble. Triple terrible, using your analogy of it.
But the fans didn't leave. They stuck around.
No, they definitely left.
Some of them left?
A lot of them left.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I don't know what you were watching.
Uh,
You were probably blinded by the sun coming through your window and not watching the game.
Well, on that 96-inch screen in his basement with the sun pouring in, he couldn't see a thing.
Well, yeah, I mean, that's it. Quarterback situation's not fun. R.I.P. Steelers. Maybe? Yeah, okay.
They're close.
They're close.
Just enjoy the 7 wins right now.
Perhaps.
All right. Paul Haley made another comment. I was hoping the rainstorm Sunday would have washed away the stink on the Steelers. No such luck. Great point, Paul. Ron King is watching. Thank you. Diane Rohde's taking care of Big Mike. He had hip surgery today as an outpatient. So make sure he's getting that chicken noodle soup and all that good Italian food. All right. I know you can cook, Diane. Hope you're feeding him, and thanks for watching the show. We appreciate you. Now in 10 seconds, we're going to do On Location. All right, welcome back. On Location, not much to talk about, just did a pre-show, so I guess that could be like a faux pas. On Location, we're in the studio pre-show, went very well.
How do you use the word faux pas in that sentence?
Well, it's like a mistake.
I don't think it was. No, it wasn't a mistake. It was.
You want to analyze it
It
for
was
me?
sure. Why not? We got time. Like a feature more, not a faux pas. It wasn't a mistake. It happened unintentionally. So there you
Well,
go.
people are used to us being at 7 o'clock for 12 years. We went against that because we've done a few exceptions, but usually it's shown up
Oh yeah,
another
we were.
time.
No, the technology works. We were just late.
Yeah,
Most of it works.
right. No, so we got past that. On location, nothing really happening there. We're looking at Ray Schaefer Boxing Association in January, supposedly some more Battle of the Belts. We've done a few of those, Nick, so that could be coming up. We didn't know what happened in Monsville Prison with the fights there. We got no word from Jim Frio and Mike Murray, so we'll see what happens there. And Coliseum Combat Zone, we'll be doing our debut April 27th
Yes.
at All-American Fieldhouse. We'll be filming it for Pittsburgh Sportsline, so we can say that. Get ready for that. It'll be like a concert and a UFC battle of 10 to 14 fighters, and we'll be putting all that together starting in January to have a great event for all of you out there to come and see it. But, you know, with sports there, we're all sports fans. But look at the roller coaster we've been on this season. From all the hype, we saw Kenny Pickett with how many good drives, I forget, in the preseason. I drank the Kool-Aid. After the first game, I spit the Kool-Aid out. I'm so glad I did. I feel better. And all this negativity, I just try to put something positive out there, and I can't find it. That's my opinion with what's going on with our season.
The Penguins are kind of in a similar situation.
Well, I
too.
wanted to bring up, I'm glad you brought Penguins up. Everybody was saying about you got to get this guy, one of the best out there, defensive guy, Carlson, and they didn't put him in our power play like he should. They're still doing the same old things they do with Malkin on the right side. They don't let Sid on the right side. They don't let Carlson on the right side. And their power play looks like the worst in the NHL. Now, we have four legendary players, and you'd think with Carlson and Letang having a defenseman each time on a power play, or even two, that we wouldn't be leading the league in 2-on-1 breakaways. So, I mean, how does that even happen? And so what's sad for all us fans, bleeding black and gold, oh, it hurts. We haven't seen too much this season, except I got to bring out the bright light on the Buccos. At the end of the season, Nick almost won a quarter off of me, and that was the highlight of the Pirates season. They came back, and they almost got the 50-50.
Oh, I love baseball, but are we not just in the worst situation as fans?
Yes.
When it really feels like if the Pirates don't do well, we're all going to be like severely depressed in sports.
No, we're already depressed. It'll go worse.
Severely depressed.
Yeah,
Yes,
yeah.
There's that.
Well, no, the severe is here because of the season.
See, I don't think so. I think the Pirates still give us hope. Like, I mean, I know a lot of fans that I've, listened to around on socials are saying that, like, they have the most faith in the Pirates to do well in the upcoming season. Like,
Give
they
me
will
a
have the
couple
next
of their
best
names.
season. Yeah.
I need some of their names.
But I didn't say I know them
Like
personally.
Joe from Penn Hills, or
I didn't say
or
I know
Bill-
them personally. I'm just on
or
social.
Bill from Washington,
Social
or something
media
like that.
is not the most statistically sound place. I'm acknowledging that, but I'm just saying, like, it feels like if the Pirates don't do well, then like all three teams are gonna have like not great years, and then we're all gonna be sad because the City of Champions seems to be just withering away.
No, you make some good points.
Yeah.
Definitely, I agree with you. And like honestly, I watched more Pirate games last year than I had in the previous 3.
Well, I hope that goes up. They're not doing
So,
anything in
no,
free agency right now, which is rough.
Well, my thing is when you see the other teams in your division doing stuff, I figure we follow a little bit behind then.
The Cardinals are trying stuff. I mean,
Well, they sunk so far.
Yeah, they're not. I mean, they're signing like names, but they're not like. I don't think it's going to turn them around.
It won't
automatically.
improve them.
Yeah, I mean, now could the Pirates be holding out for Shohei Ohtani? I sure hope. Do I think there's a large chance for that? I've said that before. No, but wouldn't it be great? Wouldn't it be great if they just their
Yes.
payroll is so low
Yes.
that they're just like, you know what? let's just
Here's $400 million, Ohtani.
what's another 60 million a year or 60 million on the books to just put him into the payroll? I mean, really, why not? Why not give him an offer? What do you want to play here? Doesn't matter. Can you give him an offer? You can.
Well, Nick, the only thing I got to say to rebut that is, do you think he'd even want to accept an offer from us?
See, but that's not the point.
Because he's had losing and he likes the West Coast.
A lot of people remember when we had Chad Brown. His wife didn't like it here because we didn't have a lot of sushi.
We didn't have any sushi back then.
Yeah, so
I just heard a report today too that Dave Roberts, the manager of the LA Dodgers, just like, we're gonna do everything it takes. And now I hate the Dodgers more. They just sign every big name for no reason, and then they
When
lose
you
in
have
the first round.
when you have money and you have billions and you're not afraid to spend it, that's not us.
Well, what would you? You're not wrong, but like what would you rather have in this case? And I think that's a good question. If you're talking about baseball, would you rather have a team that spends and gives you recognizable names and makes the playoffs almost every year, but loses in the first round most of the time? Or would you rather have a team like the Pirates that they got a lot of good draft choices and they got a lot of good potential, but you don't really see winning seasons for like 7 to 10?
Well, you just described what we've witnessed for
Right, but what would you
since 2009 with the Steelers.
What would you rather have in that case? Well, yeah, I guess we do have that with the Steelers.
No, we enjoy the Steelers like that.
I think
most of the people were ecstatic about the Steelers this season.
It's definitely more exciting when your team's in the race, but to know that they're not like going to make it far might be rough. Like, I partially wish that the Steelers would break it down in cases. I know no Pittsburgh fan wants to hear that, and people have been angry at me.
Well, no,
because it's crazy.
The Steelers have a rule. It's sacrilegious to talk about rebuilding.
I understand, and I don't care.
Whoa, you heard it here first.
Tomlin says it all the time. I do not care. I don't care. Because, again, I mean, it's about that draft stock, and if you don't have those high draft picks because you're always finishing in the middle and there's no serious winning to be done, then you've got to change something, and maybe that stubborn perspective needs to go away. Now, the Pirates have tried to rebuild, and they're in a perennial rebuild, which may be the fear.
Yeah.
The Pirates are in an odd situation where they're just in a perpetual rebuild, and that usually doesn't happen.
Oh, Paul Haley, got to interrupt. I got to share on this. The Pirates are going to add 2 more fireworks nights and 2 bobbleheads.
And they've changed their days. They've changed their game times.
6:40.
How about that? Most of their night games, 6:40 instead of 7:05.
How did they come up with that?
I don't care about that either.
Right.
I mean, I don't know. But yeah, I mean, it's like I wish the Steelers would break it down and put it back together with good draft stock and maybe save up a little bit of money and spend when there's more feasible options out there. I really don't know, but it feels like just this constant, this perpetual, we're going to lose in the first round or finish 9-8 and not make it at all. That's getting tiresome. More like the Dodgers as well in baseball, where they just spend infinite amounts of money and they can't get past the first round, really. So,
well, do they have any good fans that come out and watch them all the time?
Sure.
Okay, then it's about the money. What's changed the game, and even college football, is all about the money. Mm-hmm. And look at Neon Dion, who I wasn't a fan of. Hey, he doubled the wins from last year. But now everybody's turning on him with the 86 new players that he got.
Well, he just isn't.
Sorry to change subjects.
No, you're good. He's just not. He isn't so much of a big coach in public.
Nobody said he was.
Than an entertainer for the fans. Like, I mean, him being a part of Colorado's program made that team just more entertaining because of the things they were doing. He's talking a big game. He's putting on a good show. I believe his son went up to a fan section in a game or before a game and just showed off the watch for no good reason. So, like,
no, I think it was on TikTok.
It was, yeah. So, I mean, it happened.
That was his reason.
So, okay, so he did it to put it on TikTok. Again, to be entertaining. So, I mean, yeah, it's becoming, when money's involved, it also becomes way more of an entertainment business and not so much about developing. And since they can make money, I mean, the businesses don't care. The old saying is no publicity is bad. Although I disagree with that, but that's not the point. Like, publicity can be good in almost any sense because as long as you're getting attention, I guess that's all that matters. So,
Well, that's where the money goes is what matters. So whoever's controlling the money and where it's going, that's why you see a lot of strange things that don't make sense with Steelers, Pirates, etc.
I'm sorry, I got a little distracted. I got a kid who I think can be a great running back in the NFL, played for the University of Maine. I just got him into the Dream Bowl. You guys ever hear of the Dream Bowl?
Never.
The Dream Bowl is played on Dr. Martin Luther King.
I had a
weekend,
dream.
and I got him in, and it's for the smaller college team. So I got him in.
I gotta ask Marco to give us a countdown when we get under like 30 seconds.
Yeah.
Just tell Michael here so we can get there. We're under 2 minutes.
You have
I
exactly,
like for
you
all
have
y'all-
exactly 40 seconds to make your point.
I like
Oh,
for
you're
all
kidding.
y'all
I was pretty
watch
close.
the Dream Bowl online.
Thank you, Smoking Jim, and
30 seconds.
I'll try to delay it a little. Thank you to all of you for tuning in, watching. Sorry for the delays and other things that happen. Technology's great when it works. I don't know, can I say it? When it doesn't, it sucks. And so do the teams right now in Pittsburgh. And so does the weather, since we all complain about the weather. I got the long sleeves on today because I'm cold. I feel the cold. I'm not like Smoking Jim. Thanks to Michael. Thanks to Johnny Mariano, Michael's dad. Thanks to Marco in the control room. He did great. Please stay Joey strong.